So good morning, everyone. It's 11 a.m. and I think we should start now. So I welcome you all to this webinar presented by Sukrit Ayurveda. It's a monthly webinar and we have been joining you all with an exceptional doctor every time. And I take the pride in introducing our guest this time, Dr. Ghanshyam Marda, who's a consultant at Suraj Ayurveda Clinic, and he's also been associated with St. Maud's Spa, France and Europe since 2001. And he's an MD, Ayurveda Heart Disease and DPC Panchakarma Neuro. He has also been a gold medalist. And I was going through his profile and it's so amazing. I can see he has been associated with various universities throughout the country and the globe as a teacher, and he has also been associated with the governments of various countries in doing some research on heart disease, pain, and mental health in autism. I can see he has also authored many books like Rasayana, The Art of Healthy Aging, Ahar, The Art of Healthy Dietetic, and he has collaborated with various authors in various countries and delivered some amazing books which are very helpful for us. I can see the I also wanted to share the doctor has taken out time from his work schedule. It's actually his work time and he has taken out an hour to come and discuss this current topic with us, which is pollution, especially for people living in Delhi NCR in India, and not just Delhi NCR. Rather, I can see this problem which is present all around. Let's be aware to the fact that the problem of pollution is all around the globe. We can see government working towards climate change. So on this day, at this time, taking out time from his work schedule, Dr. Marda is here to discuss this burning topic with us and give us some clarity about how can we deal with this problem, what all can we do sitting at home to keep ourselves healthy and keep ourselves immune from this problem. So Dr. Marda, I welcome you on this program.
Thank you.
Straight away, getting into the question, Dr. Marda, the first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about pollution is we stop going out when it's too polluted, it's toxic outside. We stop going out and we stop working out. We don't go for a walk and we start staying inside. What do you suggest? Is it keeping in mind that the air inside too is not very healthy? So should we completely stop working out, or working out at home is okay? Can we do that at home, or are there some restrictions or some precautions that we should keep in mind?
First thing, air, whether it's in your home or outside, it's not going to change. Because if you want to change, you have to be making your house airproof. And if you want to make your house airproof, then how you will be breathe out. So it's just staying home give you peace of mind and comfort. Okay, I'm not going outside. Maybe the density will be less, but this is not a real solution. The solution should be combating with the situation, believing on our human body intelligence. So first of all, I want to explain you a little bit base of all this, because all this prevention, taking care, etc., will be based on this simple physics and simple, I can say Ayurvedic physics or Vedic physics, which is physics today as well. So what really pollution does? Basically, our body has certain barriers which try to protect you from external invasions. Okay, every house, why we built a wall? We built a wall to protect us from maybe wind, maybe heat, maybe some thieves, maybe whatever. So there are certain walls in our body, and these walls are being a living being walls. They also have their intelligence and they also interact with whatever changes happens around you. For example, if let's say you are cooking something, and if the smoke goes suddenly to your eyes or your nose, naturally your eyes start to water. This is a defense mechanism done by your body to protect from the effect or hazardous effect of the smoke. So body is using its own intelligence. Okay. So these barriers, they react with the pollution system. When the pollution, no matter it's smoke, no matter it's dust, no matter it's pollen, no matter whatever, lead from the vehicles, when it comes and start to stick with these barriers, then the barriers start to interact, and that's where we start to suffer. Okay. So one good way to protect is, can we create another barrier from our body barriers and the pollution in the form of dust or whatever. This is one way. Second way, we have to understand that normally this bothers more in a certain seasons or certain climates. Why? For example, we all know in physics as well as in Vedic physics that cold is compressing or cold is condensing. So it will condense, it will compress, it will contract the available airways or available pathways, as well as it will densify the air, condense the air, so as condense the smoke, so as condense. So this condensation create issues because you have less pathways, less space in the pathway, you have densified polluted material going inside, and that combination will react more. So normally people suffer more from these kind of things in cold weather or changeover from cold to heat or hot to cold. So this is physics. So can we keep our airways broadened? Can we keep at least the air around us more, not condensed, but more with more bond, more distance between two particles of air? This is another way of protection. So these kind of things we have to keep in mind rather than just thinking of what is the medical aspect, etc. So at home, for example, if you want to go out in a polluted things, fine, you can. Okay. Now how? Like now in COVID scenario, everybody of us are wearing a mask. Why we are wearing a mask? We are wearing a mask to protect the entry of coronavirus, which has a very small mu micron size. Okay. Similarly, can we protect our entry points while going out? Yes, we can. So that which are the entry points which are more open to pollution? Nose, eyes, and throat or mouth. Can we protect our eyes? Can we protect our nose? Can we protect our mouth? Or can we layer again so that the polluted material will stick to the layer and it will not stick to the barrier, body barrier, to react or to interact? So simple thing. You can take any viscous material like oil, like ghee, just put it in your nose, or put few drops of ghee or few drops of oil, any viscous material, which will be another layer to your inner skin mucosa. Many of you are doing kajols, eye conditioner. So with eye conditioner, can we put some viscous material drop in the eyes? Why not? Instead of kajal, imagine if you apply some viscous material to the eyes. What it does, in fact, this was a tradition in India. This is a really tradition. Every children, every baby get this kajal to clean. Why? Because baby get lot of sticky mucosal waste from eyes. So to clean the eye pathways and to protect eye pathways, this was done when we were babies, even until adults. Now then it took a cosmetic purpose. So now we do for cosmetic. So there is certain protection mechanism by applying certain things in the eyes, few drops of ghee or oil in the nose, and when you are going out, just gargle. Do oil pulling with salt, hot water, or just few drops of oil and gargle. What it will does, it will create another layer, and it will also clean up the mucus, because as I told you, these dusty particles will stick on the mucus. And then you start to get bothered. You start like that because there is something sticky inside. So this is the first defensive mechanism. Support your body by another barrier. Now, second thing, how we can broaden our pathways. So there are certain things which are related even to our lifestyle. For example, in winter, in Ayurveda or in Vedic sciences, it is recommended that you should wake up early and you should do exercise early in the morning. We do exactly opposite. We wake up late because it's dark, it's cold, and we don't do exercise because it's cold outside. This is a basic phenomenon of warming you up. This is a basic phenomenon to broaden your every pathways. This is a basic phenomenon to clean the accumulated mucus overnight. That's why in winter, you should wake up early. You should do exercise, empty stomach in the morning only, and you should do heavy exercise or exhaustive exercise. We do exactly opposite, not even in India, but also worldwide. I have seen everywhere. Whereas summer, which is hot, which is absorbing, which is drying you up, so you should be sleeping more late to humidify your body more. You should be doing light exercise. And you should be doing exercise either early morning means summer early morning, not 5 a.m., 4 a.m. or evening. But we do opposite in summer because light is free, so we do more exercise. So anyway, that is another subject. So warming up your body by waking up early, doing exercise is one of the must thing if you want to protect your body. Second thing, there are certain home remedies, certain home drinks, which could warm you up and broaden your pathways. Like we all drink masala chai. In fact, it is a tradition. If you go to Kashmir, there is Kashmiri kahwa, which has some masala inside. If you go to Darjeeling, Assam, there is their specific tea which has some masala. If you go to Tibet, they have butter tea, even salt in that tea. If you go to southern part of India, there are certain like Dahashamani, etc. teas, traditional tea. I'm not talking of tea leaves. Even tea leaves you can make that. Because right now I'm working on tea tradition, so I know the detail more. Research for a French institute. So different kind of tea traditions were there, which has a special masala tea in winter to warm you up. Even I have some recommendation. If imagine you don't like tea, you are drinking coffee. Why not? You can put some cinnamon in coffee. It will not change the taste, but it will broaden your pathway. And you go to botany, cinnamon is a very good bronchodilator. Cinnamon is a very good channel dilator. It's a useful spice in respiratory system, for example. And in pollution, the most affected system is the upper respiratory tract. So there are certain spices like long pepper, like long clove, like cinnamon, like cardamom, which you can use in your morning drink. Now, most of these have also an immunomodulatory effect. They will control your immune system reaction. Now, in Corona, we all know that ginger and tulsi and giloy and all these things. But, for example, the most useful immunomodulator things are tulsi, yes, giloy, yes, but also cinnamon, but also ginger, and but also pepperlongum, long pepper, pipali, or black pepper. So these kind of things, if we could incorporate in our morning drink, it will keep your pathways broadened for another 2 hours at least. And you can have flavor of mint or etc. even. It's not an issue. So you can drink milk, you can drink coffee, you can drink tea, you can drink black tea, black coffee, whatever. Just have these bronchodilators there. Third thing, you could have certain perfumes, because when you are going out, you are just having this deodorant or some perfumes. Why can't you use bronchodilator perfumes? There are. Why can't you use this deodorant with camphor or with mint. They are very good bronchodilators. Why can't you use? Why you just need to chew that things? Feel good. Why can't you smell that thing? This is one of the best thing I used in all the COVID period for increasing oxygen concentration even in ICU. I used to put camphor in the mask of the intensive care people, intensive care patients to increase the oxygen percentage. Also, you can chew a little bit of mint thing while going out. So these are certain things which if you could follow, you will be able to go out easily.
Thank you so much, sir. This was so enlightening. In fact, I just have one small question from what you just shared. You asked, you talked about cinnamon, black pepper, cardamom, and all these spices. Just one quick question, sir. We make tea with sometimes with milk or sometimes without milk. Can we use these spices when we are making tea with milk? Can these be added to
Yes,
milk?
I already told that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a
You
tea
can,
or
right?
black tea.
Uh-huh.
Tea means milk tea.
Both
Whether
of.
it's a coffee or black coffee.
Okay, perfect. Just this little clarity I wanted to have, because there were some conceptions where some people asked don't add them in milk. So just for that clarity. And the next question that I wanted to ask you was how to live with it pollution. I can see you have already answered that question too. What all we can do, keep our air clean, keep ourselves protected. How can we go out? How can we work out at home? Third thing, sir, I wanted to know from you, if we are affected with pollution, despite taking all the precautions that we can, um, for example, we get some allergy or sometimes cough, is there any medication or home remedy that you would want to suggest to our viewers that they can do when they are affected?
I have to do answer of this in two parts
Ji,
because I just answered your first question of going out. In
ji,
fact, there are certain more cares in a daily lifestyle you have to follow if you want to protect yourself and not to get allergies, for example. So, in that aspect, there are four more things in your lifestyle. One is the self care, how to take care of your body, self service, because you're using the body. Most of the times, you're abusing the body. A simple vehicle which you drive, you take care of that, taking the vehicle to the service station or garage every 6 months. How many times you really take your body to the garage? Zero. Only when you are sick. You realize you have a head only when you have headache. Otherwise, you just realize you have hairs to comb.
mm,
You don't even think that you have a head and you have brain inside to take care of. This is a sad reality. This is the fact. So there are certain things which you have to do as a self-care every day. Then there are certain things which you have to modify your eating habits and means dietetics in a way. Then there are certain things which should give you enough rest. Because see, if you want to prevent, well, I can give you plenty of home remedies, but why you need a remedies? I want to tell you that you should not need a remedies, first thing. So in self-care mechanism, as I told you, two things, nose and gargle, but there are more than that, there is a body. You know, in India, in Diwali, there is a tradition of applying oil and uptan. Why it comes? It comes because the winter season has certain effect on your body. So to protect your body, you need to apply oil every day and take shower, which will spend 5 more minutes or 7 more minutes to apply oil to the body, especially to the chest, to the back. This is a self-care. While taking shower, you should apply oil to your body. Okay, this is a self-care that while applying oil, you should be actually empty stomach. So you should not consume anything solid before applying oil. So you should have something liquid, then you should have, maybe you are doing some exercise, etc., which I will tell in 1 minute after, and oil. Then exercise. There are certain exercise mechanism which will help you, except this exhaustive morning exercise, also you should do breathing exercise. No matter pranayama or whatever you term it, you should do certain breathing exercise. Now, in food habits in winter in India, because you have to understand the breakfast system, breakfast early system or breakfast like king, etc., applies to the temperature below 10 because you need a fasting to fight back the external cold and to go to the work. This is the real reason. That's why most of the European Americans, they have a heavy breakfast, but then they have a light lunch. Normally, they just have a sandwich or some sort of salad, etc. at the lunch soup. What we do, because in India, especially except northern part of India, you really don't need a breakfast except winter. Solid breakfast I'm talking about. We need a liquid breakfast. This is an Indian tradition as per the culture and climate and position of the country, which we forget. 9 months in a year, we are about 25, 30 degrees. We don't need really a breakfast, except northern part of India, as I told you, solid breakfast. So we should, for example, in winter, we should have 3 solid meals. And in summer, most of the part of India, or that kind of weather, maybe Singapore, whatever, that kind of weather, we need a liquid, solid scenario. We eat breakfast, then we eat lunch, which is not our prescribed time. Our prescribed time for India is, or even world, before noon, we should have lunch, except winter. And all over the world, you can go, you can see. I go to Europe, I go to US, I go to China, everybody is out for lunch at noon. And only in India, we have lunch at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, which is not our tradition, which is not our healthy way of eating. Then avoid certain things which will promote this mucosity in the body, like unnecessary use of some sticky food, sticky materials. What we need more in a breakfasting is more like a liquidish kind or more non-sticky. So you should avoid certain food element, definitely when you are allergic, like banana, for example, because ideally you should eat a banana which is black completely. You should have some cardamom and honey in that. This is the healthy way of eating banana. We don't care about that. We just take the green banana and we eat, which is immature. So it gives you some comfort, but then if you are allergic, if you have asthma, cold, etc., you will suffer. So certain mithais, sweets, Indian sweets, you should refrain from while during this period. So eat a food which will not produce mucus, change the timing of food, lunch around noon and dinner around 7. And in winter, you can have solid breakfast, but in other season, you should move towards semi-solid or liquid breakfast as you don't need it as far as Indian climate is concerned. Then enough rest. Most of us, we now have changed our cycle. Most of the times we are working and in the night, we think it's our time. So we take mobile, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc., etc. Most of us are a little bit aware that all this industrial light disturb your sleep, affect your brain, more stress to the brain, more work to the brain, but we don't realize and we use that before sleep. So we hyperactivate our system and then we go to the sleep. So we don't wake up fresh, and less sleep or improper sleep can affect 5 systems in the body. One of that is immune system. Because the refill of immune system occurs during the night from 10 to 5 in a way. So if you are not having a proper rest, if you are sleeping late, 12, 1 o'clock, and activating your brain thinking it's your time, I just wonder, why can't you have your time at 5 a.m. in the morning? Why you need to get until midnight and 1 a.m.? Why can't you wake up at 5 and send WhatsApp messages to all your friends, good morning? But the people don't do that. And this was a biggest reason why many young people suffered in India in COVID. This is one of the biggest reasons. Lifestyle has affected their immune response and so they have suffered. So now coming to your second part, what could be the home remedies? Now, home remedies, as I told you, first protection. What you can use for protection? You can use coconut oil. You just put a camphor inside coconut oil for a day. Next day, you start smelling camphor. You use that coconut oil to protect. Same thing you can do with ghee, coke, camphor, or cinnamon. So you have a nice smell. You will not have a bad smell. And you can put it there. Then, second thing for gargling, you can do salt, water. You can even have turmeric boiled water and pinch of salt and oil. For gargling purpose, you can use clove oil, which easily you can make it. You just take clove. Well, you can buy from market, or you can take a clove. You just light something and you get the drops coming out. Just by heating clove, you can get clove oil. Okay. Or you can use also cinnamon, similar way, but cinnamon is very difficult to get oil. But clove, you can easily get oil. Okay. Even if you go to any pan shop, they do these kind of things. You can see, I even ask to the people, especially the smokers, they do that. So, oh, you can use mint. So this is a first home remedy for gargling and for this. Now, as I advise you tea, you can change. For example, if you are having allergy, let's say if you are having allergic reaction like running nose, watering from the eyes, etc., then food as a remedy. First thing, if you really having a lot of running nose and watering from eyes and bit of headache, etc., switch to 1 or 2 days on liquid diet only. Means what? Morning juices, tea or milk hot drinks or juices. Lunch is a big 1 liter bowl of soup. And dinner is also big 1 liter bowl of soup. You can make soup of dals, different lentils or different pulses. You can make soup of cooked vegetable like smoothie, but cooked, and in the mixer you can do, or you can take cereal, cook it and do same in the mixer and make a liquid diet. You can add the spices and flavor of your choice. I recommend most of the times garlic ginger. I recommend. You can add whichever spices you like as a flavor in that with the ghee, pinch of ghee. You can also have coriander on top and drink that soup. Because, and this was also a ICMR recommended diet, plenty of liquids in COVID, because liquid diet is one of the best way to deal with immune issues. I can have 1 hour lecture on liquid diet, but right now I'm just giving you an idea. Liquid diet is one of the fantastic things to prevent further progression of the disease. Okay, that's what I just want to do. So switch to 1 day or 2 day of liquid diet, and you will see even you don't need any medicine. The moment you start liquid diet with these kind of things, your running nose will reduce. Automatically after first or second meal, it will reduce. So switch over to liquid diet for a day or two, and then semi-solid and solid. Then come back to normal diet. Then there is some certain combination which you can make at home. Like we have cinnamon at home, we have cardamom at home, we have ginger at home. Okay, we have sugar at home, and we have sometimes eating gum at our home, like Arabic gum or something. Even if you don't have, leave it. Or many times we have licorice, jethimud at home. Okay, just combine these, and this will be a fantastic remedy, and you can chew easily. You can add a pinch of salt; it becomes tasty. And this combination is called Sitopulari Churni in Ayurveda, in fact. So there is pepper longum. Instead, I just advise you to take pepper or dry ginger. There is a cardamom, there is a cinnamon, there is a sugar, and there is gum, bamboo gum. So you can make your home remedy. You can use it as a milk or chai masala. You can give to children, they really like it. It's so tasty that they really after you. Many children comes to my clinic, even they are not sick, because their parents are coming to my clinic, they ask, bring that meaty from Dr. Mark, that sweetie things. So this is another home remedy, and it depend upon, if you know this block, you can add a little bit of salt more or a little bit even comfort inside, in that the same home remedy, or you can inhale comfort, okay, or mint, you can inhale. You can even inhale ajwain, the thyme or parsley, we can say, smoke of that. Means you keep ajwain on a hot pan and you just inhale. Okay, that also. Then second thing, if you are getting headache, you can just take dry ginger, add some water and apply a thin layer here. Normally, in 20 minutes, the headache reduces. Or even you can put a drop of ghee up and then you apply this. Normally, in 20 minutes, the headache reduces and you get sleep due to this kind of reaction. Now, if it goes towards more throat and more respiratory tract, then you have to change a little bit of home remedies scenario. Now, in diet, well, you can still continue the liquid diet, but you have to have a spice mix, especially when you are dry cup, before that or in that soup. And that has, again, home spices like asafoetida, hing, what we call, then jeera, cumin, sehajira, black cumin, then ginger, pepper, even long pepper, ajwain, and salt. These are 8 things combination. You just mix in a ghee, you add in your soup, it gives tasty and you drink that. Or you just mix and it, you just swallow and then you drink your soup. Gargling is a must when you are having cough. Now what changes is you should have your tea if you are taking with milk or you coffee or milk. You should add certain spices in water. So you have to have diluted milk. Okay, like 1/4 of water or 1/2 of water and 1/2 of milk, and you can have pepper, ginger, and cinnamon or cardamom, either or boiled milk or boiled tea or boiled coffee, and even you can have just pepper, cinnamon, and ginger boiled water during the day. You can add some sugar in that. You can add honey in that if you want to. It's up to you. Honey is one of the very good throat reliever as well. So you can add that and you can drink. So this is another home remedy for throat. As well as externally, you apply salt and oil during shower, not just oil. You add salt in that. Your salt try to liquefy the mucus. Salt try to dilate the passage. Okay. You can have this now because you can get plenty of these tulsi teas. Okay. So tulsi leaves, mint leaves, even just eating like that will help you to clean the throat. I also advise many people a syrup, home remedy syrup. So you just take tulsi leaves, you crush it. If you have mint, you crush it. Okay. You add a little bit of cinnamon and cardamom in that. But in the end, you take that juice, you have to have 60% sugar. So imagine if you have 100 ml of juice, you have 60 gram of sugar, you put it in together, you boil it and make one string thickness. You boil and you just take and you just put it a drop on your finger and you just check. If there is a string formation, means it's ready. And then you add either cardamom or cinnamon or mint. It's a very nice tasty syrup and you can drink as a cup syrup. This is and most of the tulsi syrups are like that. Most of Ayurvedic syrup. So you can make your own home syrup to drink. So these are certain home remedies. Now certain food ingredients can help you to reduce from allergic reactions. There are certain vegetables like moringa, drumstick, what we call. Then there is spinach also. It's useful in this kind of things. There are certain grains which should be used more, like mung, like barley, or millet, or sorghum. These are the cereals you should use more. You can use it in a form of roti, you can use it in a form of thin porridge, or you can use it in the form of popcorn of that. Doesn't matter, children like it, so you can make it popcorn, why not? So you can make a food which is acceptable but healthy. That's the thing. As I was talking to somebody, I give always chocolate to obese people as a treatment part. Always chocolate. Or I give burger also, but Ayurvedic burger. I name it Ayurvedic burger. Okay. So it's a healthy ingredient. See, nothing is bad in this world. The way we prepare, the way we consume is bad. So we can make it healthy out of it. It's not a big deal. So these kind of cereals you can use. Spices, I already told you, I don't want to repeat it. And certain lentils you avoid. So for definitely gram chana dal, okay, gram, you have to avoid. A little bit of tur dal, you have to avoid. All other dals are okay because these are what you can say, produces more gas. Gassy food you have to avoid because when you have flatulence or gas, it put pressure on diaphragm. It reduces the space available in the respiratory system. So the or sprouts, for example, you will be surprised, but I'm really telling you, sprouts is not a really good choice in this scenario. And uncooked food is not a good choice. The raw food is not a good choice in this scenario. And lastly, I don't know if how many of you are non-vegetarian, but in non-vegetarian food in this scenario, I advise not to eat eggs. You can go with more soups or broths rather than, like I told you, first 1 or 2 days of liquid diet. You can go with chicken soup, chicken broth, or meat soup, meat broth, etc. Fish is okay. Normally, I don't advise eggs in this scenario. This is because, again, eggs is a rich food, but as it is a rich, your system need to have a more capacity to digest. What happens? Respiratory system, when it's affected, it affects the digestive system. That's why most times when you are running nose, etc., you are anorexic. You don't want to eat. You don't feel like eating. Your system is dumpy. So when you are tired, what is the use of rich work? Zero. It will not complete. So it's not really advisable. So this is like a total solution.
Geez, I mean, treatment with you sounds more like fun, I can see, and how you have showed us everything is present in our kitchen and avoiding eggs and sprouts and tur and chana dal. It's something really new to me. So I'm going to try these at home and I can make out how respiratory system is related with our digestive system. We have to take care of both to keep both of them healthy. So this is
Just
what.
when I'm telling you, this is general outline. Huh?
Mhm.
Of same chana dal, I will use in a different form. Like I will crush, make a flour, and I will make certain different recipe when you have too much mucus inside,
Okay.
and when I want to dry it. So this is really fun. And I'm telling you, all my more than 1,000 patient overseas, I use these only. I don't give any medicine, and I use and I enjoy, and they also enjoy that, and they also enjoy because he was telling no chana dal for 3 days, and now he's telling no, you make a flour and do this. So this kind of that's why I told you this is general outline, but definitely you should follow that.
Yeah, it's like playing with the ingredients in our kitchen. Everything is at our home. So it's already 11:39, sir. Quickly, just one last quick question, and then I'll open the platform for audience for their questions. You shared everything, our lifestyle, what precautions should we take so that the pollutants don't enter our body, what should we eat, the home remedies, everything. Is there anything specific would you like to talk about kids? So kids at this early age, they are exposed to pollution, and I understand when they grow up they have very weak respiratory system. So any special advice for kids?
See, for the kids, there are three important advice. You have to imagine kids in a three stages. First is the infantile age. You have to understand that in infantile age, most of the times you should treat the mother because they are breastfeeding. What we do, we change the milk of the child and we try to give the infant different things. This system is not matured. Up to first 6 months, you have to just keep him on breast milk, or up to 1 year. You should not really introduce external food. from 6 months to 1 year, you should use milk. This is a scientific and also Ayurvedic way. I'm talking about. Then you have to introduce slowly other milks like cow milk, goat milk, etc. Then you go for cereal water. Then you go for vegetable. After 1 year, you really expose him to food. This we try to follow in food, then not in medicine. Why? Because the medicine will immediately make his system adult. No. So infant, you have to treat the mother, which we forget. Because all the things produced in his body, bodily, due to bodily scenario, not weather or something, is because of that mother. Mother's milk, not mother really, mother's milk. Mother is stressful, or mother has eaten too much sweet, mother has a gas, that impact on the breast milk, that goes in his body, it produces something. So this is one thing. Second thing, for infant age, if you want to protect the respiratory system, in our tradition, it is written that baby should have everyday massage and shower, which we don't do today. My son is 20-year-old. He's going to be a doctor. He still applies oil. He's not vaccinated at all. And he had nothing because he has his immune system developed since childhood because and I don't need to tell him, he is 20 years, but he still goes in the bathroom, apply oil, whatever part he wants to. So there are certain cases. Then in the food, because you cannot have other food for infant, as I told you, mother. So you have to change the food through breast milk, means mother has to take the medicine, spices, whatever. But baby, you can do external care. Like many times to protect the respiratory system, you just need to apply castor oil to the umbilicus of the baby. Yes, because you have to understand that if again the same phenomenon, baby's colon is free, the respiration system is free. Because they are lying down. They always have feet like that. So this is something which it is a common sense. Unfortunately, it's not very common, but it's a common sense. So you should apply and work on belly. Even sometimes I apply onion juice or hing on the, and this is a fantastic remedy for baby colic. Fantastic. Many times baby drink milk and throw up immediately. You just do these things, and today they will stop throwing up. You just create a space. Okay. Besides that, you can have ajwain potali for the chest of the baby or for here. Even one herb you can say, vacha or vakand we call, Acorus calamus, which is a part of a postpartum care tradition. Traditionally, yeah, I'm talking about. So that also you can apply to the chest, or even dry ginger you can apply to the chest, and this to the infant. Now growing up baby are exposed to, because immune system of the babies are learning state. And as you now may be aware of that, why we are not giving vaccine until now to the under 18 or under 17, because they have their immune system is not having a memory. They are learning and they are accommodating. So if we try to take infants, it means that until age of 17, our system is not fully mature. So it's learning. So my recommendation is let them expose. What we do, many times we are overprotective. We don't want baby to go to the rain. Okay, fine. But unless he goes to the rain, unless he sneezes, how he will produce antibodies? This is another mechanism. You are vaccinating him, but where is the chance to get antibodies? So don't be overprotective, but be preventive. This third thing, these children from 1.5, 2 years to 5, 7 years, they need, because this is the age where they are exposed to chocolates. This is the age where they are exposed to sweets. So try to be smart. You just give, you cannot deny, but you give them chocolate with certain mixing. Like as I told you, most of the chocolates go well with cinnamon. So give him chocolate, but add cinnamon inside, powdered cinnamon or ice creams. Okay, many of the other kind of ice creams goes well with cardamom or ginger. You just add a pinch. You will not deny him, but you have to. Then make them habit of gargling, because they will eat these lays and kurkures and these kind of things. They are going to. And as a parent, you will be easily emotionally blackmailed by them. So you are not going to prevent. You can't be strict all the time. So protection mechanism for them. So just teach them, okay, you want to enjoy this? Fine, you can. But you have to gargle after. Only then I will give you. If you don't gargle, if she don't gargle, next time you don't give him. Then he will realize the importance of gargling in the perspective of enjoying lays. So teach them this kind of thing. Okay. And as I told you, there is no really big difference for this spice remedies, home remedies. I told you, just the concentration should be less or more. These simple things you can use for 2 to 5 age. And after 5 or 7 age, you have to do certain things a bit more, like make sure that they will go to the toilet every day. Not going to the feces to the toilet every day can adversely affect to respiratory system. So that's the age where you have to really train their system to evacuate. Then you have to reduce the frequency of eating. Up to 4 or 5 years, it's okay. But then you have to reduce frequency of eating, and you have to increase the quantity of fixed meals, quantum. Okay. And then they are more exposed to the dust, they are more exposed to the other children's food, they are more exposed to the water. So the protection mechanism. For example, imagine they want to go outside and in the mud or dust. What I will do, I will apply oil first. I will make them a shower after when they come back. Okay, or before. So let them go in the dust, let them play while oil in the nose, etc. They can go and they play. They come back, I will wash them, I will apply oil, give them a good shower, and then I will give them dinner. So just don't wash hands, etc. Also add something. And as a prevention, as I told you, just apply nose, ghee, oil, etc. All these things. They do this, they go to play in the rain, in the mud, in the wherever. And this is exactly what I taught to children in COVID. They are not going to stop. They will go to other home. So instead of just mask, and they are not going to keep mask. Mm-hmm. They were not keeping mask. So this was helping them. So that's why teach them certain post-care management and pre-management. This is the good way to handle children. I can talk a lot, but I see my time limit also.
Sure, sir. We can go on, and I really want to thank you for this wonderful talk. And now I want to invite my co-host, Miss Manisha Prasad, and she will be taking up questions from the audience. And let's see if we really want to wrap it up within the time limit. We know you have work, sir. So Manisha ji, over to you.
Thank you, Khushbu ji. Thank you, Dr. Marda, and the plethora of information you have provided in such a small duration of time. I am so obliged, so grateful, and I'm quite hopeful that my audience might have been hugely benefited from the entire session. Now, quickly moving to the audience round, I can see my chat box is flooded with lots of questions. So I'd be taking the questions one by one. The first question I have got is a very interesting question. These days, we have started adopting the ancient practices of performing Havan and Yagya. So I want to understand from your point of view, how far is it useful in combating pollution these days? Is it helpful in increasing our and strengthening our immune system? So what pollution and what suggestions Ayurveda has on this?
This is a really good question. In fact, I forgot in all my mentioning the purifying of air surrounding. I forgot that. See, there are two aspects you have to understand. All these pujas, havans, etc. They are a holy process. They are meant to bring holiness to you, and also probably good condition around you. So Ayurveda always is recommending that and for that. But Ayurveda is a science which deals with health and not just philosophy or religious faith. So when it comes to health, and if it is not useful, Ayurveda will restrict it. For example, on one side, we are talking about effect of pollution on respiratory system. And other side, we know that smoke is one of the biggest reasons to spoil respiratory system. On third side, if we want to do yagya at home, so at home with the full of smoke, is it going to help you? No. So you should do before you start suffering. you cannot do after. Once you are suffering, because it will increase your suffering. Instead, there are certain other things. So what I told you, all these processes are useful to purify air, no doubt about it, but that has to be done before it start to affect you. Once it is affected, you have to do a prevention, cure, and then go back to that. This is one thing. Now, second thing, in the same philosophy, there is certain plants. As we know, that plants are a very good source of oxygen during the day. Okay. So certain plants, they are known for air purification. Why can't we plant in our home small, that what you call kundi, what we call it? Why can't we plant that? That's the reason why tulsi was always in traditional Indian home, because it protects you from insects, from external bad things, as well as purifying air. Why neem, tulsi, pudina, and these kind of things, most of the fragrant plants can change the quality of air. So we can use that plants to purify the air, at least when you are suffering. And you can do yagya, etc., when you are not suffering.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marda. Actually, you have covered one question. Like I had one question in my mind, the measures we can adopt to keep the house less polluted. And you suggested us to, plant greeneries around us, which will help us in combating pollution inside. And since COVID, we have been forced to stay indoors most of the time. So I think planting trees around us will help us in keeping the atmosphere very safe and eco-friendly.
There is
Coming
just
back,
one orange line that I told you, plants. Not always flowers will be helpful. Flowers can bring pollen and pollen allergy to you. But anyway, you can apply oil and you can enjoy still flowers.
thank you so much. One question I'm receiving is about jaggery. So jaggery is one substance we have been hearing a lot about it. Is it helpful in during pollution? Like, we just want your suggestion on this.
See, jaggery and sugar, the basic difference, Ayurvedic perspective, sitopala and gur. Jaggery is warm as compared to mishri or shakkar or sugar, what we call rock sugar. Okay. So definitely when there is a cold weather, when there is a winter kind of scenario and sufferings, good or jaggery will be more useful than mishri, sugar. But at the same time, you have to remember, jaggery is more sticky and jaggery is more hot. So those who are suffering from heat, they have to take with a precaution. Okay. So definitely jaggery will be more useful in this perspective, being a warming up scenario. Okay. And other seasons, you can use rock sugar.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. Asthma has been very predominant since COVID times. We have seen not only adults, but the kids are also hugely getting impacted because of asthma. And first of all, I want to understand, like, is there any basic difference between asthma and breathlessness? Because I mean, I'm not from medical background, and most of the time we correlate both the things. So I would like to understand from your point of view, and what are the ways we can help asthma patients in this scenario of so much of pollution?
See, in asthma and breathlessness, one thing is common is difficulty in breathing. And that's why it is the basic feature of asthma is difficulty in breathing, so as breathlessness. Now, the reason can be different. In asthma, there should be a airway or air pathway blockage. Whereas breathlessness, you don't need to be always. Like, for example, as I told you, if you are obese, just because of big belly, you may be breathless. So you don't need always to be having some obstruction in your respiratory tract. But in asthma, most of the times it's the air airway blockage or airway obstructions. So now how to remove these airway obstructions? This is the thing, and well, COVID is a different thing. I don't want to mix in that because COVID has some different scenarios. COVID has over-inflammatory action of your immune system, which is not really a normal asthma. Okay, it's more towards the inflammatory condition. So I'm not going there right now. I'm just giving you to the asthma scenario. So in asthma, what you need to do is two things. One, again, the same way is broaden your airways or keep intact your airways and liquefy or remove the obstruction inside. If you could manage these two things, you will be well managing the asthma. So for that, the basic thing again comes to the same thing. Before liquefying or removing obstruction, take care that you will not add on the obstructions. So if you have more mucosal thing to eat, if you are asthmatic, naturally you should not produce more mucus. So naturally you should not go for more heavy, more thick, more sticky things. Naturally you should not produce more gas to reduce the airways, reduce the air space, not airways. So take care of food. Then externally, as I told you, local application of oil, salt or dry ginger with water helps to broaden the pathways. So as inhaling camphor, I already told you, inhaling milk will broaden the pathways. Okay. So as heating warm around you will broaden the pathways. Now, how to reduce the obstruction inside? So obstruction inside can be reduced by introducing certain specialties. This is a help. This is not a complete remedy. Okay, but this is a help. It will help you. So one good thing to reduce is you should use licorice or jetimat, what we call Glycyrrhiza glabra decoction. Jetimat decoction is one of the very good base, and you add up the spice you like pepper, like clove, or like pippali. Okay, this is one thing. Second, very good, it is a very good remedy described in Ayurveda is, it's called Vardhaman Pippali Rasayans, means pippali, long pepper, pippalangam, boiled milk in an increasing dose every day morning. This is a very good support for lungs and airways. Okay. Third thing is you can make some simple combination of dried fruit and black pepper or pomegranate. For example, you can make take pomegranate, make a juice of pomegranate. You add black pepper or this long pepper, pippali, and cardamom or cinnamon, and you can make syrup, or you can make even like chicky, and you can eat that. That is also a good thing. Jaggery, fresh ginger, cooked together and with pinch of salt. That is also good to reduce the blockage in the pathways. So there are certain things which you can use to reduce and deblock. Even very simple thing, if you feel the pathway blockage here, do the gargling of salt water. It should be really salty and really hot, and swallow the gargle, last 1 or 2. Because salt itself is liquefying the obstruction. Salt itself is many times act as an anti-inflammatory. So you can do that. I think that should help you in asthma. The most interesting and important line is you have to make sure that you are passing your feces stool every day. This is important in asthma or in coughing.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Marda. And the information provided by you in the entire session is very much enlightening. And we are just bound with the time. It's time now, and I'm forced to now mind the session. And before that, I would like to sum up the takeaways, which is in fact a long list, but I'll still try to sum up the things which you spoke in the session. As you said, the body itself has a natural defense mechanism. It is very important that we create barriers for the external pollution. We need to support the body with various barriers. You emphasized on the importance of exercising, warming up of the body. The line I could hear repeatedly in the entire session was broadening up the pathway. That means what I understand is removing the obstruction both externally and internally, which is the most important thing we need to do. You emphasized on taking care of the climatic condition, which varies from location to location. The exercises we perform during summer should be different what we do in the winter time. You gave us many important information on home remedies as well, like very simple things, taking up of masala tea, putting some cinnamon in the tea. Spoke lot about clove, cardamom, moringa, tulsi, ginger, and one important aspect you talked about was increasing the oxygen concentration, and we can do this with taking various kind of bronchodilators. Then the emphasis was also on the self-care. You talked a lot on taking care of the body. We can take oil before we take the shower, which was again a very important thing, and we have been listening to this time and again, the importance of massaging the body. You spoke about the timings related to lunch and dinner. Lunch should be taken before noon. Similarly, the dinner should be taken before 7. You spoke about certain food which can create allergies. Certain other home remedies you talked about, like coconut oil with camphor for good smell. Gargling is another aspect which you talked. So basically what the major takeaway from the entire session is to take care of the lifestyle, refraining from the social media, which is creating a lot of impact on the immune system. So it's very important that we take care of the lifestyle. And you gave a lot of information about the preventive measures for kids as well. If we suffer from any kind of running nose, it is very important that we should switch to liquid diet. Liquid diet is anyways always good and helpful for kids as well as adults. So the list, as I said, is long. We would be publishing the newsletter shortly, and we will be listing everything in detail there. I thank you again. I will request you again to come to this platform once again. It was very helpful. The entire session was very informative. And I thank my co-host as well, Ms. Khushbu Upadhyay, who took the session very well. I thank my audience. And I thank this platform, Sukrit Ayurveda, who gave this wonderful opportunity to have this wonderful session. So thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you, Dr. Mada. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.